Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Now at 6:30 on your Tuesday, we are tracking a homicide case after investigators find a man dead inside a closed-up car wash in Lexington.
We are tracking active weather out there this morning here on this first alert severe weather day. Rounds of showers and eventually more thunderstorms come calling. I'll track those for you coming up.
A Kentucky company is speeding up production of an experimental drug used to treat Ebola.
And a showdown in Kentucky's U.S. Senate race. We have highlights of their only televised debate. Those stories and more. Breaking news as it happens. Coming up on WKYT This Morning. Hello there and good morning to you. Welcome in on Tuesday, October 14th, a rainy day in the Commonwealth. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. We are tracking strong, potentially severe storms headed for our area. They're slowly rolling into the bluegrass now.
We have declared a WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day to keep you up to date. Mostly we're anticipating just lots of rain. Meteorologist Jim Caldwell talks about that. Good morning.
And good morning to you. And we are tracking all kinds of rain across central Kentucky and southern Kentucky at the moment. And you can see it also toward the north as well. And it's easing deeper and deeper into eastern Kentucky. Right here in Lexington, though, we are covered up with a good, solid wall of rain that is coming down at a pretty good clip out there with a good moderate shower still hanging out right over Lexington. Just continues to saturate the ground. It was already saturated, but we continue to add extra moisture to the area. We go down to the south, Rockcastle into Jackson County, picking up on some of those heavier showers and a little more active around the Knox County area here this morning. Plenty of moisture out there. Temperatures have been at a standstill pretty much all night long, running in the low and mid 60s here in central Kentucky. A little warmer out to our east. That could be a zone of formation for some stronger activity later today. I'll break those chances down coming up for you.
Okay, see you in a bit. Thank you.
This deadly storm system has already ripped through several states in the south and in the Midwest.
Tens of thousands of people in several states are without power this morning, and some of the worst damage was in Arkansas, where at least 2 tornadoes have been reported. And the nasty weather postponed Game 3 of baseball's American League Championship Series in Kansas City until tonight.
And this morning, we're tracking a death investigation in Lexington. In other news, the coroner says a man's body was found inside an old car wash.
The discovery was made last night at the Premier Car Wash on New Circle Road. That's in between North Broadway and Russell Cave. Investigators say it appears the man's death was no accident. WKYT's Whitney Wetzel is live in Lexington now with the latest details on that and what we've learned this morning. Whitney, good morning.
Good morning. Investigators found that man's body inside of this car wash around 7:30 last night. This is at the Premier Car Wash on West New Circle, but you may remember that it used to be called Mr. Sparkle. It's been closed now for several months. So far, there are a lot of unanswered questions about this situation, but the coroner says they are investigating this man's death as a homicide. Investigators are still in the preliminary phase, so right now the coroner has not released any specific details about the man's injuries or when he actually died.
After the autopsy, hopefully we'll have a better idea about the exact cause of death. But again, we still believe that this is a homicide, that we believe someone else has taken this gentleman's life.
Now, as far as the identity of this man, again, little information has been released. All we know right now is that he is a white man. The coroner could not tell us an age range. Again, an autopsy is scheduled for later today. Live in Lexington, Whitney Wetzel, WKYT.
We are tracking a breaking news alert right now. A double-decker tour bus, we've learned, has crashed in Greenwood, Indiana. The
details just coming in. A local CBS station says at least 50 people were on the bus when it crashed around 4:30 this morning on Interstate 65. It's very dark, obviously, just before daylight this morning, but this is a live picture of the crash scene as the investigation is getting underway. Several people are seriously hurt. Many of them have more minor injuries. The bus was headed north when it crashed in the southern Indianapolis suburban area of Greenwood. We do not know where the bus was coming from. Again, a double-decker tour bus has crashed this morning in Greenwood, Indiana, near Indianapolis. We'll get you more details as they're available to us. New this morning, a United Nations medical worker who was infected with Ebola in Liberia has died. A German hospital says the 56-year-old man died overnight despite intensive medical procedures. His death comes as a Texas nurse. The first person to contract Ebola in the U.S. is being treated. She received a blood transfusion from an American doctor who survived the disease. The nurse became infected after caring for Thomas Duncan, who died of Ebola at a Dallas hospital last week. Meanwhile, a Kentucky company is working around the clock to make more of a drug that's used to treat Ebola. The company is hiring more people and working on the experimental medicine that was recently used on 2 American aid workers who contracted Ebola. Both of them recovered, but doctors say it's unclear what role the drug played. The drug, called Z-MAP, is still awaiting approval.
A Southern Kentucky family is dealing with the loss of 3 people after a deadly weekend fire. Lisa and David Perkins and their 2-year-old granddaughter, Shaylin Crabtree, died Sunday on Sycamore Trail in McCreary County. Crabtree's parents say their little girl brought them a lot of joy, and it's hard to believe she's gone.
If I can get a message out to anybody out there, hold your babies tight and never let them out of your sight. That tomorrow is not ever guaranteed.
Investigators say the fire was likely caused by an electrical problem. The family thinks a heater may actually be to blame. A roundup landed 19 people in jail in what the county attorney says was a last resort. The roundup targeted people wanted for overdue child support. Altogether, the group owes more than $300,000. The county attorney says there was an amnesty program this summer, but none of the people arrested took advantage.
And that story out of Laurel County, by the way. Well, all eyes are on the U.S. Senate race here in Kentucky right now. The 2 candidates went head-to-head last night in what may be their only debate before next month's general election. WKYT Sean Moody is at our live desk with a recap of the debate. Sean, good morning.
Well, if you were hoping for something earth-shattering last night, you were out of luck. Both Grimes and McConnell pretty much stuck to what they've been saying about their platforms and each other since the campaign began. People across the state have been anticipating this debate for weeks. It's the only one scheduled between McConnell and Grimes, as Grimes has done since the beginning of her campaign. She called McConnell out of touch. She says he's responsible for Washington gridlock and that his 30-year term in the Senate needs to end. McConnell kept to the strategy of linking Grimes to President Obama. He said Grimes is trying to deceive the people of Kentucky into thinking she'll be an independent voice when he says she'd be an automatic vote for Obama's policies.
Kentuckians know my record. It's a record of being an independent thinker, putting the partisanship aside and putting the people of this state first.
Called me the hardest working member of the United States Senate out of 100. We have a chance here to have the hardest working senator for another 6 years.
Now, Libertarian candidate David Patterson was not invited to last night's debate. He asked a judge to force KET to include him, but that judge declined, saying that KET did not exclude him solely because of his political views. Now, the latest WKYT Herald Leader Bluegrass poll shows Grimes with a 2-point lead over McConnell. In the newsroom, Sean Moody, WKYT.
Sean, thank you. And Grimes will be getting more high-profile national help this week. Former U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton will be in Kentucky tomorrow to stump for the Kentucky U.S. Senate candidate. She'll be hosting a rally for Grimes at the Kentucky Convention Center in Louisville. Tickets to the rally are free, and they're available at Kentucky Democratic Party offices.
Well, investigators say they are still not sure what sparked a blast that damaged a Lexington hotel. In a newly released report, the fire department says it confirms that a car crashed into the Fairfield Inn and Suites in Beaumont Center in Lexington back in September. The car hit the hotel's gas meter, but the report says firefighters cannot narrow down exactly what sparked the blast. A group of juveniles in jail accused of stealing an ATV. Deputies in Whitley County say someone reported the ATV stolen in the Rockholds community. Police later found the suspects. They say 2 of the juveniles tried to ride off on the stolen ATV, but it ran out of gas. They are charged with theft and are in a juvenile detention center. 3 others were also charged and released to their parents.
2 lawsuits have been filed against Kentucky Kingdom. The person suing in each lawsuit claims they were hurt after being sent down a water slide with the wrong tube. A Louisville television station reports one person suffered a shoulder injury, another a head injury. Kentucky Kingdom says it cannot comment on pending litigation. A Corbin hospital had to go outside of its walls to find the best treatment for one of its patients. James Wathen has been at Baptist Health Corbin for more than a month now. The staff noticed that his emotional health was getting worse because the longer and longer that he went without his dog. The dog was sent to foster care when he went into the hospital. But the Knox Whitley Animal Shelter helped track him down. Wathan and his dog were reunited over the weekend, and now he's feeling better.
Everyone from the director of security to a couple of the social workers on the floor, the ladies that you see here with me, it was definitely a village effort, and we were very happy to make it happen.
The hospital plans to set up a pet visiting policy for similar cases in the future, because apparently that worked out quite well.
Oh, it's a very heartwarming little story there. Well, if you're one of the many in the Big Blue Nation without a ticket to the basketball team's first official practice of the year, we have some news for you.
Yeah, for the first time in 20 years, Big Blue Madness will not air on local TV. Instead, ESPNU will do live look-ins during the Friday night practice. If you want to watch Big Blue Madness in its entirety, you'll only be able to find it online on ESPN3. If you're still not sure how it all works, we have you covered. Just go to WKYT.com and we have more information there.
All right, let's check to see how things are moving on the roads. A little slick out there with rain.
It is 6:41 our time. Here's Officer Don with live drive traffic. Don?
Hey, good morning. Biggest slowdowns right now, Nicholasville Road, starting about the mall out to the Circle. That's the heaviest traffic. That left turn lane to the inner loop's what's causing the slowdown there. Now on Versailles Road, past the airport this morning from Woodford County, things are steady. So we get a live look outside, and we show you what's happening on the interstate with no problems, even across the Clays Ferry Bridge, or coming in from Scott County on 75. It's normal stuff this morning. Just watch the exit ramps. On our Waze map, it's just some stalled cars, and we can see a little slow traffic, but things are building prior to rush hour. We'll keep you up to date. Now back to you in the studio.
All right, everybody, be careful out there in the rain. And Officer Don and Deanna are on 98.1 The Bull this morning with a lot of fun. 6:42 now. A lot more news is coming up from WKYT this morning.
With all these giant gourds being grown, what do you do with them after the big contest? Well, have a look at one idea.
Showers are rolling through central Kentucky out there this morning, and some heavy rain could be on the way for later, and maybe even a stronger thunderstorm or two. I'll track those chances coming up.